Welcome everyone, Costin here with a discussion about Total War, Warhammer 3, Immortal Empires, and Realms of Chaos, if anyone still cares about that at this particular point. We finally have a roadmap for the next 12 months. We're going to have a good idea of what Creative Assembly is going to do for the next year. This has been a long time coming. They just released it today. I haven't read this. I've just glanced at it, especially at the picture over here, but I haven't looked at these changes. So let's just open the picture over here and in a new tab, and let's take a gander at what they're talking about over here. So patch 3.1 is going to include bug fixes, Chaos Dwarf, endgame crisis for Immortal Empires, and more. Then in summer of 2023, we're going to get Tzeentch, Cathay, Kislev, free legendary hero, Immortal Empires achievements, race updates, general campaign improvements, ongoing settlement battle improvements. We'll see about settlement battles and what they're going to do with that. But thank God, they're focusing on things that actually need to be fixed with that. Because Tzeentch, Cathay, and Kislev all have some issues. Now, Cathay has the least amount of issues, but they still have problems. Kislev and Tzeentch, however, are two of the worst racist factions in the game. So it's nice that they're finally going to get an update. Kislev, what's wrong with Kislev? Well, everything. Their economy, their supporter system, two of their legendary lords. Like, you can play a campaign as power resources and make it work, but Katrin and Gestalten are pretty awful, especially Katrin. So, in summer, we're finally going to get an update for these races and fixes. For Tzeentch, the problem is an issue of economy. The roster can handle it, though honestly, many of the range units, you're kind of reliant on having the Champions of Chaos DLC. But still, it's going to be nice to actually see some improvements with that. Then, just to scroll a bit to the right over here, patch 4.1, bug fixes, gameplay updates, and more. And then in winter 2023, Thrones of Decay, Nurlge, Empire, Dwarves. Holy crap, we're going to get fixes for both the Empire and the Dwarves at long last. And Nurlge, poor Kugaf, one of the worst, if not the worst legendary lord in the game. I mean, Daniel is not getting anything, but then again, who cares about Daniel at this point? No one really does. It's a shame with Kugaf what has been happening. And you know what? Maybe we will finally have a proper Imperial and Dwarven campaign that is worth playing. Because right now, the Empire and the Dwarves are two of the worst races in the game. Like, actually, all of the races that we see here listed, with the exception of Cathay, are genuinely some of the worst races in the game that desperately need major overhauls. I don't care what some people might say. These races have needed an update for a very long time. Or in the case of Tzeentch, Nurlge, and Kislev, they've needed it since they came out. This is how bad Warhammer 3 was at launch. Then patch 5.1, we get more bug fixes, gameplay updates, and in spring 2024, we get another free legendary hero. Like, they're really pushing the idea of free legendary hero. But crucially, what you note here is like race and legacy race updates. So this is a very welcome and needed development. Like, I'm actually excited as someone who loves the Empire. Like, I criticize the Empire and Dwarves and Kislev because I actually do like those races. They're just awful to play. I've actually spent like close to 2 hours playing a campaign as Ungrim with mods. And even mods only can do so much. You need to get really into the roots of the issues. Like, mods can fix problems, but the Empire Dwarves need new mechanics. They need an overhaul. They don't just need like, oh, fix Imperial Authority, fix the growth, fix, etc. No, they need a complete overhaul. And like for the Dwarves, as I've said, that like the Dwarves would really benefit from the resource system that the Chaos Dwarves have. Not in the same way. That's not saying, oh, you're making the same races similar in the exact same way. No, because obviously the Dwarves would not use a labor system, a slave system for pretty obvious reasons. But grudges, oath gold, there are things that can be done there. Now, let's look into the details over here. And I think I'm going to move this a bit to... I'm gonna move this a bit further. No, it's actually quite fine as it is. So, 3.1. Chaos Dwarves arrive as an endgame crisis. Regiments around 7 new units join a lot of the base Warhammer 3 races. Can you guess which 7? Yeah, pretty sure. New legendary hero. Discover the latest legendary hero to join a fray. Look forward to a special reveal later this month. Multiple crash, performance fixes, bug fixes, all okay. And look for update 3.1 in the final week of May. Okay, so we're going to get a legendary hero in the final week of May. Hopefully it's not a similar situation to Ulrika, because that was just ended up just being really annoying. Okay, then 4.0. Following the release of 3.1, the team is all on the summer release. Update 4.0 will not only be accompanied by our 4th DLC, Shadows of Change, but will include a bunch of new additions to the game. A 4th DLC exploring the ongoing story of 3 races, Tzeentch, Cathay, and Kislev, while introducing 3 new legendary lords, a new legendary hero, a ton of new units, and more. So we're going to get, looking at this, I'm guessing we're going to get a legendary lord for Tzeentch, one for Cathay and Kislev. That makes sense. I'm kind of curious to see what they'll actually do in Kislev, because if you look at the lore, it's kind of lacking in details. But whatever they add, it's probably going to be someone that is going to focus on a different kind of racial aspect of Kislev, because right now they focus very heavily on the Gospodar side of things. We'll see what they do with the new legendary lord. So I think Kislev is actually going to gain the most. But it's interesting with Tzeentch and Cathay, because Tzeentch is pretty related to Cathay in a lot of ways, very involved with Cathay at any rate. New legendary hero, okay, someone corrupted by Lords of Change, Immortal Empire's achievements, popular request, okay, so we're getting achievements. I don't really care about that. I don't think achievements really matter, but some people do care about that a great deal. Race updates will also be the benefactors of a base race update. So for all you Tzeentch, Cathay, and Kislev commanders, this could be a great place to start some conversations with your fellow players. Thankfully, AI updates expect tweaks and fixes to player bias and campaign AI as the world and threats therein continue to evolve. And then settlement battle improvements. Another ongoing project. Expect the latest adjustments, bug fixes, and AI improvements to settlement battles. Don't expect major fixes. I don't think that Creative Assembly is going to overhaul siege battles, settlement battles, but it is certainly a welcome development. Even if they only add a couple of fixes, it's still a better situation. Then 5.0, the final release of the year, ushers in another major update in the next DLC, Thrones of Decay. Nurgle, the Empire of the Dwarfs, take the spotlight with their own legendary lords and new campaigns to expand the Total War Warhammer universe. So we're going to get a legendary lord for Nurgle, we're going to get one for the Empire, we're going to get one for the Dwarves. For Nurgle, there is a named character, I can't pronounce his name, he escapes my own, but there is a particular character who laid siege to the Empire. He actually allied Drazov to do it, so that's likely one we might get. Though, I guess it would make sense more so for him to be Warriors of Chaos, but honestly, Nurgle works just as fine in that kind of situation. And I think Warriors of Chaos right now are quite stocked with the Legendary Lord, so Nurgle getting another one is good. And another new Legendary Hero. I'm curious if that Legendary Hero is someone they're all going to get. For the Empire, I kind of wonder who they're going to go, because there's 2 big options for the Empire. You can either go with Valten, or you can go with Boris. It's a paid DLC, remember this. So Boris is already in the game, Valten is not. If they're going to make some, like Boris already has a model, like yes, they could give him a special skill line, they could give him an entire campaign. I'm not sure I would want to play Middenheim right now, given their Immortal Empire situation. Valten could start in Talabecland, I don't know. Or Valten could be an alternative start for Karl Franz. I think we're at the point where alternative starts wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I know some people would complain about that, but honestly, if they're going to add Valten, it would make perfect sense to have an alternative start in the Reichland or Talabayam, because right now there's no one really posing a threat in Talabayam, though I think there needs to be some kind of map changes with that, because the distance between settlements in Talabayam are pretty huge, in Talabecland specifically. Another legendary hero joins the toolbox. No hints at this one. You already have all the clues you need. I'm kind of curious about that. If it's Valten, it's Luthor right? Luthor, either way. It's Luthor. It's very like if they're adding another legendary hero that's gonna come for the Empire, it's probably Luthor, because he's very heavily associated for that. Though, if they're only adding a legendary hero for the Empire, not adding one for Nurgle and Dwarves, we'll see about that. It would be pretty awkward to have one that's for Nurgle, Empire, and Dwarves. I'm not sure who the hell they could add. There's some vampire characters, absolutely, they could use in that, but we'll see. A new legendary artifact akin to the Sword of Cain appears on the battlefield. We'll dive into what it offers before its edition 5.0. And Nurgle, Empire, and Dwarves are under a microscope, which makes for a great opportunity to prioritize our ideas and complaints before the end of the year. And of course, more. Well, what the Dwarves need is casualty replenishment. What the Empire needs is a better early game roster and being able to get artillery earlier in the game. Also remove the requirement to be able to recruit greatswords. The Dwarves need more recruitment slots, they need a better economy, they need growth, casualty replenishment. There's a huge list. And fixed grudge system, I'm going to say. And then finally, 6.0. To round up the 12-month calendar, we can also confirm that Update 6.0 will drop in the spring of 2024. Another opportunity to expand free of the game's races, introduce new legendary lords, a new legendary hero, and game improvements galore with the major release. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to add in 6.0. I really do wonder what they could add with 6.0, what race they could rework. I mean, people dislike the current state of the Dark Elves, though I think they're mostly fine, honestly. I understand why people may dislike the way the Dark Elves are. That could be an opportunity. We've also heard, like I've heard from people that they're going to work on Norsca, they're going to work on the Lizardmen. So for 6.0, it could be Lizardmen and Norsca, Skeggy, for instance, just throwing it out there. That could be an idea. Something related to Skeggy and Lystra that could work. Add a new legendary lord for Norsca. They desperately need one, and fixing the Norscan campaigns and all the issues they currently have, that would be very, very welcome. But yeah, plenty of things, very welcome development. We've needed an update for, like, out of the 6 races they announced they're updating, 5 of them desperately need one, and Cathay also needs an update as well. Not as much as some other races, like I'd say Lizardmen, Norsca, and others do need them more. Like Tomb Kings could use an update in terms of their campaign mechanics, as just an example, or the Books of Nagash and how annoying they are. Tomb Kings could really use an update with that. But updating Cathay, improving Cathay is not a bad thing. Cosine signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable notifications, and stay tuned for more.